The real cultural war is between the culture of narcissism and what might be called the culture of renewal. And make no mistake, our country is in the middle of a culture war right now. It's really about ideas and a vision for the future. And what it's really boiling down to is Florida culture versus California culture. At one time, the two states were very similar, but we diverged. Florida went one direction, California went another, and the events of the last 2 years have illuminated this. Many for so long have believed that we're just one giant country, we're America, and state lines are really just kind of an inconvenience. You know, they're divisions of authority, that all the governors are just pretty much assistant presidents. Well, I think we can put that fallacy, that strange notion to rest now, can't we? We can see how different Florida has turned out versus California. California is now the land of tyranny. Florida is the land of liberty and the land of freedom, but it's about a certain aspect of culture that many are not seeing. I thought this was kind of a funny picture to show to illustrate this. This is, of course, Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, having changed his pronouns to ourses, theirses. But it got me thinking, what if you didn't know the language of someone you were speaking to? How would you know if they were misgendering you? How would you know if they weren't using the proper pronouns or not? If you didn't speak their language. Romance languages, Portuguese, Italian, French, Spanish, everything has gender. Every noun has gender. Those of you who have studied those languages know what I'm talking about. So how would you know unless you spoke those languages? Now here's where the cultural rubber meets the road, so to speak. Who remembers the little skit that was done on Saturday Night Live so many years ago called Daily Affirmation with Stuart Smalley? It was the actor-politician Al Franken. He would sit in a couch and he would wear this kind of very feminine-looking cardigan and a shirt all buttoned up the neck, and he would sit, look in the mirror, and he would tell himself how smart he was and how good he was, and he would reassure himself continually that people liked him. You see, that's true narcissism right there. That's narcissism embodied. I must always feel good. Everyone must like me. And if not, there's a problem. This is the beginning of victim culture. That if somebody makes you feel unliked, it's their fault. If somebody makes you feel unapproved of, it's their fault. You're the victim. Now I'm going to change images here, and it's probably going to shock a few people. You see, a lot of people think this is narcissism. Going to the gym and working out and getting in shape so that you look fantastic is not narcissism. It's the exact opposite of narcissism, because on the far right, what others think of me is none of my business. That is a basic fundamental tenet of working out and being successful. Is you have to put out of your mind the idea of being a victim. You have to put out of your mind the idea of all of the excuses you have for not being there, of why you're just already good enough just like you are. Because if you let even a little bit of that creep in, your workout plan is done. Because when things get hard and things get tough and you've got to push through it to the other side, that little voice is going to scream. It's going to be the loudest one in your head. And if you don't surround yourself with people who push you and tell you, you know what? You can do better. If you don't have that inside of you, to think today was great, but tomorrow I've got to be better, that's the opposite of narcissism. That is Florida culture versus California culture. I've used this image before, and I chose it very specifically. It's 3 girls in Pensacola, Florida. Doesn't look like they did a damn thing with their hair that morning. Doesn't even look like they put on makeup. Standing in front of their car at the beach, just ready to go enjoy, have a good time. You see, people would call this narcissism. It's not. It's the exact opposite of narcissism. Here are 6 well-known political figures, all conservatives. So you won't find in the modern world Democrats going to the gym or even valuing going to the gym, male or female. Pam Bondi, upper left, a runner. Lauren Boebert, right below her, definitely a gym rat. Marjorie Taylor Greene, CrossFitter. Kristi Noem, governor of South Dakota, huge runner. Sarah Palin wrote a book. This is the wife of our governor. She's a huge exercise buff. All conservatives, because that's truly conservative ideals in the modern world. It didn't always used to be. Some people say it's showing off. That's just a term invented by lazy people who are too scared to get out of their comfort zone. Because they're already good enough and smart enough, and gosh darn it, people should like them just like they are. That's the difference. You see, for them, exercise should only have the goal of making them feel good. That's it. And if it's exercise that does anything other than make you feel good, you shouldn't do it. That's why I used this image. It's most potent and underutilized antidepressant, and it's free. What they don't tell you about exercise is that while you're exercising, it's not pleasant. It's not supposed to be pleasant. It's after. When you've achieved your goal, when you've finished the run, that's when all of the benefits come, not during. Now, ready to have your mind blown? It wasn't always this way. There used to be conservative Democrats that valued this. Tipper Gore, wife of Al Gore. I have long recognized a link between fitness and mental health. I think we need to encourage young people to take part in sports and team activities because we know it has such positive results. Football, baseball, basketball, track, wrestling, volleyball, hockey. All require sacrifice. All, to some extent, have a level of pain associated with performing at the highest levels. It just is. And this is the anti-California culture. Before he died, God rest his soul, Rush Limbaugh said, "The culture war is between the winners and those who think they're losers who want to become winners. The losers think the only way they can become winners is by banding together all the losers and then empowering a leader of the losers to make things right for them." See, this is their call for equity. Don't get better. Just get even. Don't get better. Just get even. And that is the difference between Florida and California. You would think California has sunshine. California has beaches. California has good weather. Why have they elected tyrants? Why do they live in fear, and why do they punish achievement and punish those who want to be better? Florida has sunshine, has beaches, has good weather. Why do we have freedom? Why do we have liberty? Why have our kids been in school for an entire year and have just completed a full school year perfectly normally. And we're doing better than California in so many ways. There was a time when these two states were very much alike. The culture was very much alike, but not so much. Recent conversation with a friend, and this person told me that any woman who does this, by the way, has daddy issues. Any woman who's proud of how they look, takes care of themselves, or perhaps would even appear in a publication showing off all that hard work. See, they all have daddy issues. That's what this friend, this liberal progressive friend of mine, shared with me, broad brushing all women as a woman herself, which I thought was ironic, but it is the case that this is what they believe. That if you do anything to interfere with that Stuart Smalley daily affirmation moment for them, sorry, they have no use for you. They have no use for anything that doesn't make them feel good right then and there in the moment, and that's what brings us back to narcissism. Narcissus saw his image in a pool, the reflection of his face, and he was so enamored with himself that he laid there and could not leave and starved to death. That's the Greek myth, the Greek story. Someone so infatuated and so enraptured with his own personal beauty, just as he was, that he wouldn't even feed himself. He wouldn't even leave to go take care of what needed to be taken care of. This is Narcissus. This is narcissism. This continual reassurance of self that you are just good enough and smart enough, all like you are just right now. This is the opposite of narcissism. This is where you get out and you make yourself better, and in the process create pain. Anybody who's ever been in the gym, who's ever achieved anything in the gym or any other way, running, working out, knows what I'm talking about. I think I can probably say, don't know these three girls, that they probably spent some time in the gym to look like that. But do they care here? No, they don't care here. And that's the whole idea of Florida. See, we truly, really don't care what you think of us. All those Florida man memes, all created by California Hollywood, trying to denigrate, trying to shame, trying to make fun of us. It's kind of ironic coming from them, don't you think? See, they're the first people to shame anyone that doesn't fall in line with their tyrannical theosophy, pardon me. But boy, turn that back on them for 2 seconds, they will not have it. They will not have it at all, because they can sure as heck dish it out, but they can't take it. This is why they go after conservative female politicians so vehemently and so viciously. Because they're the living embodiment of something they don't want people believing, that you don't have to be a victim. It doesn't matter what pronouns people use. You are you. It is not your business what anybody else thinks of you. And looking good is not showing off just by looking good. Exercise can make you feel good, but usually it doesn't during. And it didn't always just fall along conservative line. Well, I shouldn't say that. It didn't used to always fall along Republican or Democrat lines. It was always a conservative value. There used to be conservative Democrats. There used to be Democrats that valued this, that understood this. No pain, no gain. So, Anyway, I will leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. Those of you who join me at Twitch in the evening, sorry about last night. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet in the evenings. It's just on and off. So we'll give it another shot tonight. But God bless. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.